Hello everyone, thank you for joining me here on this episode 10 of Vegan Police TV. In this episode I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on what I think of the undercover footage and exposés and all that sort of stuff that seem to be popular at the moment within animal activists, and why I think that is actually and even possibly not doing a negative, not creating a negative impact, though not having the positive impact that people are led to believe. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Now, as I said, the inspiration for this one was due to a recent egg expose, where the activists went into a hatchery in country Victoria to take footage of what happens to the day-old chicks. Now, for those who don't know and who haven't seen the footage, male chicks are an unwanted byproduct of the egg production system cycle, so there's no use for them. So according to guidelines, that they're either to be gassed, I think CO2 gassing is the one that is permitted in Australia, or sent through an industrial macerator. So what an industrial macerator is basically a big blender, and that's what these activists uncovered, or they put cameras in there and all that sort of stuff, and uncovered footage of day-old chicks day-old male chicks going through this big blender. It is shocking footage to see. It's not something that I recommend anyone go and watch. That's the thing, and part of that is that they were exposing egg cruelty and whatever other catchy terms that they want to attach to it. My thoughts are, strangely enough, the lead on this seems to be the same person who was doing a lot of stuff with the Aussie farms and going into piggeries and all that sort of stuff. So my thoughts on that is that I completely disagree with it, because these people are also benefiting off the suffering, use and exploitation of other animals, and this is something that they're supposedly against, yet here they are getting footage, and just getting footage after footage saying, oh, this is what we're doing, we're doing this for the animals. Well, really? No. And if you have a look at the footage itself of the egg one, there's nothing. There's just talk on it, and there's, I think, about 2 or 3 seconds at the end where it relates to something about veganism. I'm not sure whether the website was the Vegan Easy website from AL. I think ALV has a Vegan Easy website. But anyway, there's just a 2 or 3 second message right at the end of it. Now, the claim is that these people are shedding light on something. Well, they're not shedding light on anything. This hasn't been hidden by animal agriculture. If you have a look through the codes of practice, which are publicly available online, it says that is the approved method for disposing of unwanted male chicks. So, and the other thing too is that what do they want to happen? They're not, there's a 2 or 3 seconds right at the end where they're promoting veganism. Well, what's the average person going to do? They get 2 or 3 minutes into it, or even 30 seconds into it, and say that, oh no, they can't watch it anymore, and then that whole message has been lost. This for me, this is wrong. And it's the other thing too, as I've said previously in the past, is that this sort of footage does not work. Yeah, it may get a few people up in arms about it and all that sort of stuff, though without the underlying moral message, if you can call it that, of reasons why people should adopt a vegan lifestyle, they're not going to adopt it, because they're going to think, okay, yeah, this is a cruel practice. So then the egg industry turns around and says, hey, guess we're going to spend $50 million over the next 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is to investigate and to implement the practices which I think they're doing in Europe somewhere, where they can tell the sex of the embryo before the egg is hatched, so then they just dispose of the unhatched egg from that. So that could be the step forward, and things like that. the consumer will look at that and think, oh, okay, they're making things, they're doing that, so they're getting rid of that particular practice. And once that happens, then they're more likely to fall back to consuming eggs because, remember, I think it was about 20 years ago, eggs were bad for you because they were high in cholesterol and high in this and high in that. Egg consumption in Australia dropped because of the negative press that the consumption of eggs had. Then all of a sudden, lo and behold, eggs get the Heart Foundation tick of approval. People started eating eggs because they were told that the consumption of eggs was fine, it was healthy and this and that and everything else. So this is the thing, unless there's that underlying ethical or moral message about why we shouldn't be using and exploiting other animals, then people are less likely, no matter how gruesome the footage is, less likely to keep that going. Have a look at the gassing of the pigs. Yes, that was gruesome footage. Has the consumption of pork products declined in Australia? I highly doubt it. Where are we now? We're in August now, so we're coming up to season. You watch, there'll be, as there always is every Christmas, there'll be a big spike in the consumption of pork because everyone wants their Christmas ham. And the other thing too is that there'll be a huge market for the organic, free-range, humane pork. They'll push it. Australian standards are so much better than overseas because our animals are treated in a particular way, blah, 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 blah. So this is where it's a thing. And the consumer believes that because they've got the advertising messages. They're not presented with something that they view as credible to counter that information. Now, this goes back to one of the other, something I mentioned a while ago, is that there was at one of the conferences for animal agriculture, is that there was an abstract put out that sharing stuff on social media and even things like that, sharing stuff on social media doesn't have any impact on the food choices of someone who does consume animal products. So, obviously, for the meat industry, it was phrased a bit differently. I'll include the abstract again. It's on previous episode of one of the previous clips, but I'll include it again. And there's the other thing too, is that people on Facebook don't go to change. They don't join discussions to open their mind or to change their, to have their view challenged. They just join groups and discussions to either reinforce their own opinion, to criticise others, or to prove how much better that they are than other people. So this is the thing, sharing all this stuff over social media is not having any impact. And the other thing too is that as a society we seem to be becoming more desensitized to violence because we see it on TV all the time. Have a look. Everyone sits down and watches the news. The majority of people sit down and watch the news every night, 6 o'clock every night. Look how much violence is on that. So-and-so got this and so-and-so had that. Have a look at all the TV shows, all the movies, all the violence that's on that. And something that I wrote one of my first blog posts criticising Chris Delforce, who seems to be the lead of these. My position is that if this footage was effective in getting people to change their positions and to change what their practice is, then we wouldn't have the need for plain paper packaging on cigarettes. Now, for those of you who are overseas, in Australia we have, there's allegedly a big move by the government for people to cut down smoking cigarettes. So they put little gruesome photos on the top cover of the cigarette package, so people can see, this is what a lung looks like, or this is, if you keep smoking you'll have gangrene. I think there's a picture of a gangrenous foot or something like that. I don't smoke, so I cannot remember what they were. I just remember glancing at it, going through different shops and things like that in the past. Now, if that gruesome footage was effective in getting people to change their positions and to change the way that they do things, then we wouldn't need to move to plain paper packaging, which is that there's still the gruesome footage, though the branding on the cigarette packets has been removed. So, if the gruesome footage was effective in that and getting people to stop smoking, and that's the thing, is that you can ask the question, is it easier to stop smoking as it is to go vegan, depending on who you talk to. There's smoking possibly no longer socially acceptable, apart from certain bits. And consumption of animal products is definitely socially acceptable. Is it bad for your health? Smoking obviously is definitely bad for your health. The consumption of animal products, well, that depends on who you listen to, what doctor you listen to, what dietitian or industry group you listen to, and things like that. And there's the things with that. So this is the thing: is that we're being desensitized to that. We need to stop this because we're exploiting the animals as well. We're exploiting their footage for that. I mean, okay, think of it another way. Okay, we hopefully no one's seen the bad footage that Daesh, that the stuff that's happening overseas, the beheadings and the and all that sort of stuff. So how would people feel if that sort of footage was used as recruiting tools for the defence force, for the military, and for things like that? How would they feel? Is that, okay, you've got to join the fight because this is what happens if you don't? Well, it's not going to have any impact. It's not going to get people to change their views, to change their positions, and everything like that. As I said, it may do something for a little bit. Once the peer group pressure gets to them or things like that, then there's a chance that it's no longer going to be effective or have the impact. And the more often it's shown too, is that it loses its impact because people become desensitized to it and things like that. So it loses the emotional pull that it originally had. Now, the bit that really does concern me about all of this is that these big animal groups, or these groups that are putting it on, usually attach this footage to a campaign. So, hey, there's this footage on here. We can get this ad on TV. How about you give us more money to do this so we can get this ad on TV and get it in front of, X amount of people and blah, 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 blah. Animals Australia does it with live export. We need to get this ad in front of billboards. We need to get this ad in front of the billboards. We need to be in front of the billboards. On the billboards to be in front of the politicians. It's with your donation that we can do that. Well, Animals Australia, all they're doing is they're promoting their brand. Because if they were serious about having an impact on the politicians, they'd be meeting the politicians every day. Now, whether they are or not is unknown. But the thing is, though, when they do stuff like that, all that stuff happens behind the scenes. There's no glory in that. They can't improve their brand. So if you spend the next 2 weeks talking to, every politician that you have a bill coming before Parliament, whatever, and you spend all that time talking to the politicians to get them to sway one way or the other, there's no glory in that because you can't claim, hey, yes, it was because of us that they voted this way. Well, they're not going to acknowledge that, and, that's the thing. So this is what's wrong with that. We shouldn't be using this footage to benefit our own cause and to reinforce opinion, to get people to change their views and everything like that. Because as I've said in the past, I don't believe that it works. So yes, that's the thing, is that you have a look at gruesome footage yourself. Why people that are vegan would want to watch it? And this is the thing with, the vegan couple saying, oh, we spent hours, trawling through footage to get something to reinforce our message. Well, you don't need to do that. The written word is so much more powerful than visual footage. Get people to read something. Don't get them to look at something, because you can look at something and think, oh yes, it's on TV, and there's that little disconnect with what happens on TV as to what happens in real life. Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to go to movies, because we'd be seeing all these people getting blown up, getting shot, car accidents, everything like that. And that was the other thing too, using that car accident discussion or an analogy or whatever reference, that you have a car accident, you see a car accident on the side of the road, it doesn't get people to change their views. So you see speed cameras on the side of the road. People slow down for that. Once they're gone past the camera, then they speed up again. I see it all the time driving on the freeways. So it doesn't change people's views. The only thing that will change people's views, perceptions and behaviours is the education to getting them to have a positive association with changing that behaviour. So this is the thing. I don't agree with it. I do not use gruesome footage in anything that I do. As I said, I'm not a vegan activist. I'm here to educate other vegans. I'm not here to, you know, honestly, I'd be surprised if, you know, anyone that isn't vegan watches these clips. You know, they may, for their own reference, to say, oh, you know, this is how nuts the vegans are. But, you know, as I said, I'm not a vegan activist. For this, what I'm doing now, this is vegan education. It's not to get people to go vegan and all that sort of kerfuffle. This is just to get activists to change what they do and to think seriously about the impact of what they do and how that, you know, impacts the ones that we're supposedly advocating for, being the other animals. Anyway, I've had a bit of a huge waffle here, 15 and a half minutes now, so that's it. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments, subscribe, whatever. You'll be able to find a bit more of a discussion on this either on Tumblr, which is tumblr.veganpolice.com.au, or on the blog post that's attached to this, but you'll find a link to that down below in the description, which it is episode 10, so that'll be Vegan Police TV /episode 10. So anyway, as I said at the start of the show, my name's Cameron Blewett, and this was Vegan Police TV. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.